Hey you guys, welcome to my living room again. It's Tiazma on freeballedanceclasses.com, and today I kind of want to address a topic that is a little bit, hard to just think about on your own. A lot of times when you're a new belly dancer or even an advanced belly dancer for that matter, there's always going to be things that you're going to struggle with that are not your forte. Okay, we all have those. Like for example, for me, fast big moves are my thing. Small fast moves, not my thing. In fact, I'm still working on them, and I will still be working on them probably for a very long time, just because most likely that's not how my brain thinks, and really it is what I'm fighting. So sometimes I think about it, I'm like, you know what, maybe that's not my thing. Shall I just give it up, not try to learn it at all? You know what, that is not a bad idea at all. I love a saying that, gosh, I can't remember who said that, but somebody said this famous saying. Well, I don't know if it's that famous, but somebody said a saying was like, the best way to get things done is to cross them off your list. So you have all these things you want to learn in the belly dance world, but sometimes you just have to understand that certain things will never be your thing and you will never learn them. So cross them off the list, move on to the next thing that's maybe more of your interests, your style, your personality, whatever, and learn those things, all right? So there are certain things for me that are like that, and I'm totally okay with not ever doing them, and I don't want to do them, and therefore I don't teach them. And I can tell you those all you want to. But then there are other moves that I'm like, I could learn that. I could see myself learning that because it's my personality and focus on it. But sometimes you have actually both at the same time. You're like, okay, that is not my personality. That is not how my body moves, but by golly, I'm going to learn that move because it is challenging. And we all have those. So, should you focus on them? Yes. Should you perform them? No. I'd say stick with what is your personality when you perform, but then have challenging goals of moves that are really not your personality, not your style, and then just go for them because they're challenging. And you need the challenge. You always, always, always need a challenge, especially as you get older. We all know that, right? So, find some challenging moves that you're like, okay, I'm going to learn this just for the challenge of doing it, but I'm necessarily not my personality. I necessarily don't have to perform it, okay? For me personally, it's fast, quick moves that are very isolation moves, kind of like tribal-ish, and let's say, I don't know, drum solo type moves, maybe Sadie, Sadie the belly dancer. She does this when she does her drum solo, she does just really quick isolation moves in they just move all over the place. I can find myself doing those if I don't think about it. But when I look at her and I'm like, okay, so right foot, left foot, chest up, I'm totally confused. So for me, that is my challenge, is to be able to be aware of which parts of my body am moving, really quick, really isolated, two parts of the body, which is your chest and lower body, hips, and move them consciously. I can move them unconsciously. That's really weird. But I could totally move them unconsciously. If I don't think about it, I totally move them. But if I want to think about it, I don't. So that's my challenge. I want to be aware of what I'm moving, and I want to be able to move it. That's a personal challenge. But I do it as kind of a mental exercise, a fun little drilling thing. But I wouldn't do it as a performance piece or even a class piece, because I don't want to be learning while I'm teaching other people. I want to be teaching other people. You know what I mean? It's not fair to my students to be teaching them while I'm learning. You know what I mean? Not cool. So be aware that there will be moves like that. There will be challenges like that. And they're fun. Look at them as fun. Don't look at them as this frustrating experience, because it's not. It's fun to have frustrating experiences. It's what keeps life exciting. It's what keeps dance exciting. Because let's face it, if you're an advanced belly dancer or even a professional belly dancer watching this video right now, you'll probably agree with me on this. You can only move your body so many ways, and you've done it so far. You've moved your body so many different crazy ways, and you get to a point where you're like, okay, is this all there is to belly dancing? Because I am bored. And I know you're probably not saying that out loud to other people, not to your students, not to your fellow dancers, but you're definitely saying that to yourself. You feel like there's a certain level where you feel like you're bored. So I honestly think you would never get bored if you think this way. If you go back to like some moves where you're like, okay, this is not my style, right? If it is not your style, let's say you're like your Turkish dancer, your modern belly dance dancer, your Egyptian classical, whatever it is that your style, and then you pick the opposite style of your style, you're like, oh, tribal, they move their arms how, hands how, yeah, that's a little bit, I don't know, I can do that. That is when things get exciting. And you can find ways to incorporate those moves into your own style, or you can just do them as a mental exercise. But it does make your practice much more fun. So there's my advice to you. Be patient. There will be things that are not your style. Recognize that and to focus on what's your style if you're a beginner, okay, or even an intermediate. When you become an advanced dancer and you find that your dance is boring, then pick the stuff that is not your style and work on it. It's time to do that and get things a little bit more excited, okay? So that's my 2 cents on that. Let me know what you think. Post the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And I'll see you next time in the next video in my living room, freeballedanceclasses.com. That's our website.